What up? Coach Liebs here, and this is episode 11 of Coach Talk. Before we get into today's topic, let's recap the weekend. We lost 14-13 to Bergen Catholic in a really heartbreaking game, but an incredible experience, I'll say, on a personal level. I had a lot of people close to me, tell me how much I'm going to enjoy coaching in this game, how special the Bosco Bergen rivalry is, how important it is to the state of New Jersey and to the community. And it really it exceeded all my expectations. And this is, coming from someone who's, played at some of the best stadiums in the country, a lot of the Big Ten places. And, I've coached, D3 heated rivalries that are personal, but this one is something different. And I think it's important to understand the origin of it, right? Like there's all these kids on either side, on Bosco, on Bergen, who a lot of them grew up together, playing sports together from the time they were 5 years old until it was time to go to high school. And they were on the same teams, they were on rival teams, they grew up in the same neighborhoods, like whatever it was. And then, they have to make a decision where they're going to go play high school football. And a group of kids decide to go to Don Bosco, and a group of kids decide to go to Bergen Catholic. And so just from that, the nature of how the schools are selected, this rivalry is very personal. It's very heated. And just it was an emotional game, full of ups and downs. And for us at Bosco, it was defined by penalties and some mental errors. And we did not execute at a high level, not a high enough level to beat a team as good as Bergen Catholic. I'm proud of the toughness the kids showed. I'm proud of the energy the kids played with. They gave it their all. They all sold out for this game, did everything they could to win the game, but we just didn't execute well enough. And I think it's something that I feel very responsible for as a coach. We had 2 drops in the receiver room. We had two formation penalties and a couple holding calls. Like really was a game for us that was marred by errors, by costly errors. And I think as a unit, we made 6 costly mistakes, what I just named, and that's, way too many for one football game. So, it's something that we took very personally as a group. It's something that we talked about, had a very, very real conversation yesterday in our meeting, and, we have to be better. It's the first time all season where we really feel like we let the team down, and we've been pretty proud of the way we've played, the way we've executed. When the ball's been thrown to us, we've made plays. And it just didn't, we didn't make a ton of mistakes other than the ones I mentioned, but every single mistake I just mentioned was crucial in the game. And in a game that's decided by 1 point, where both defenses are playing their butts off and every yard counts, every first down counts, to make errors like that, unforced errors like that, is going to kill you every time. And it's heartbreaking, especially we got 2 seniors in the wide receiver room, and obviously, more on the team that, unless we meet up with them again in the playoffs, that's their last opportunity to beat Bergen Catholic. And that means a lot, because this is a big reason why the kids come to Don Bosco Prep, is to play Bergen Catholic and beat them every year. And it's as important as anything, in this program. So it's something that has really hit me to my core, has really, I made a promise to myself that I'll do whatever it takes as a coach to make sure that my kids are better prepared, so I never feel this way again. Feeling like, your group could have played a lot better, and had we made 1 or 2 or 3 less mistakes, we probably make a big play to win the game, or at least give ourselves a chance to, and I think that I'm proud of the way the kids took it yesterday. I think we're all on the same page as far as we're taking this very personally. We're putting a lot of the responsibility on our shoulders, which also puts more pressure on ourselves to get better in practice, and practice harder, and come with more focus, and just never let this happen again. Now with that said, as heartbreaking as the loss is, it doesn't really change much for us. We're 2-2 now. It would be great to be 3-1, but all of our goals are still in front of us. I think we proved to ourselves how good of a football team we are. To lose that game by 1 point, and it wasn't just the wide receivers. Everyone on the team, every position group made a lot of costly, unforced errors. That if you take some of those away, we win that game. We have a lot of opportunities to make plays that we just shot ourselves in the foot and kind of prevented. So I think it's something for us that as we get over the emotional toll of the loss, it's a confidence builder to say, hey, Bergen Catholic's a great team. They're as good as any team we're going to play this year. And we lost to them by a point and probably played as badly as we could have played. So I think we got to just continue to build on it. We know that the toughness and the energy level it's going to take to win these big games, we were right there as far as that goes. Now we have to find a way to clean up the mistakes in practice, to focus up more in practice. And as coaches, we have to do a better job preparing the kids for those moments and to execute in those moments, whether it's a mental thing. I spent all last week talking about poise, and obviously, although I felt like we had poise most of the game, in key moments, we weren't dialed in quite enough. We weren't prepared quite enough, and it cost us. So I think as a man, you got to look yourself in the mirror. You got to admit when you could be better, and that's what we did as receivers yesterday. We need to be better. We acknowledge that, and we will be going forward. And it brings up an interesting point to me that, it's something that, so this is a theory that Coach Friedgen introduced to me, and I think Coach Teal, our head coach, was with me at Rutgers at the time he introduced it, is the 12% rule. And his first meeting at Rutgers as the offensive coordinator, he said that the quickest way to win football games is to learn how not to beat yourself. And he has a 12% rule that if in one game your drops, penalties, sacks, and turnovers, add that number up and divide it by the total number of plays. If that number is less than 12%, you'll win every time. Sacks, penalties, drops, turnovers. Okay? Whatever that total number is, divided by the total number of offensive plays in a game, if that is below 12%, you'll win every time. Well, in our game against Bergen Catholic, we were at 18%, and we lost. And it's no coincidence. And I think that is one of the truest stats. Like, Coach has had some outliers where, he's won a game at 17% or lost a game at 11%. Like, that, it's happened. It's not 100% foolproof, but like 90% of the games that he's ever coached in have been decided that way, and that rule is held true, the 12% rule. So I think it's an interesting lesson for us that for us to win a state championship, I think we proved to ourselves that we're good enough, we're talented enough. We got all the pieces, but now we got to find a way. We got to learn how not to beat ourselves. We have to learn how to execute perfectly, and have to learn how to finish games and learn how to make plays when the opportunities are there. And I think that's what this game will be defined by. But, similar to the lesson I thought we learned going down to Gonzaga and getting our butts kicked, we responded well to that, and we prepared really well the last 2 weeks to get ready for this game. We came up a point short. So I think that we're continuing to make strides. I feel really good about the strides we've made and the progress we've made as a team. I think as coaches, we're really starting to find what this team's identity is and starting to build around that. So I think there's nothing but bright things to look forward to for the rest of this football season, and it's early. We're 2-2. We're in a good place. We just got to continue to play better and continue to win games, and we'll be fine. And I think that, something that I put in the wide receiver tip sheet this week, which with my tip sheet, what I do is I have like 2 to 3 pages of motivational stuff, like, whether it's quotes or I write them kind of like a letter every week, to kind of get their mind right and give them specific concepts to focus on as far as, getting their mind prepared to play a game. And then it's just, play reminders, coverage reminders, personnel, things like that are going to help them execute from an X's and O's standpoint. But I think, a big thing I talked about all week was their mindset. And now that we've lost, I think one thing that I think you have to define perspective, right? And now we can control how we react to this moment. So we lost a game. So all we have now is the circumstance, and that's the situation we find ourselves in, which is being 2-2, losing a heartbreaker to our rival. And now, nobody forces you to feel an emotion. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I was tweeting about that last week. No one forces you to feel a certain type of way. There's the circumstance and the way you choose to react to it. So we've been dealt an unfortunate circumstance, a heartbreaking loss, a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that really, hit us personally and make us feel like we cost ourselves the game rather than them taking it from us. It's a game we feel like we should have won and we gave away, and that hurts a lot. But now we get to choose how we react to this. We get to choose how hard we practice today. We get to choose how hard we practice this week, what we do, this Friday night, and we choose, the legacy that's written after this loss and how we let this define us. And I don't think this loss defines us, but the way we react to it will. If we come in with high energy today and we're ready to rock and we have a great week of practice and our leaders continue to grow and continue to hold everyone accountable, then we're going to be a great team. But this is a real turning point for us as a football team to figure out what we're made of and figure out how badly we really want to be great this year and how much we want to sacrifice to accomplish our goals. So those are the thoughts. A tough Monday, tough weekend for us at Don Bosco, but I'm excited for the bounce back. Excited to challenge these kids to see, what they're made of and how badly they want this. And I think they're going to respond brilliantly. So that's all I got. Coach Liebs bringing you episode 11 of Coach Talk on this Monday. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.